The Missouri state flag celebrates its 100th birthday in its hometown of Cape Girardeau. The Missouri state flag turned 100 this year, and to commemorate the event, the State Historical Society of Missouri held a 3-day Missouri Flag Centennial celebration. The event was attended by about 200 people. Among these were several state and local politicians, including Cape Girardeau Mayor Harry Rediger, Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder, and U.S. District Judge Stephen Limbaugh, Jr.
I'm going to introduce the flag. This is not the original flag designed by Mrs. Oliver. That flag is a much smaller flag. It's more like so, and it's made of silk, and it is encased in a facility in the State Archives building. So it's simply not movable. It's like the Declaration of Independence in the National Archives. It will never be moved. So since we couldn't get the original flag, we got instead the flag that first flew over the Missouri Capitol in 1913. And here's the story. It was flown over one time, flown over the Capitol for one day only. And then the Adjutant General of Missouri was directed by the governor, Governor Elliott Woolfolk Major at the time, to then keep that flag in perpetuity, and he had it delivered to Champ Clark. So we borrowed this flag, the first one ever to have flown over the Missouri Capitol, from the Champ Clark Museum, where it's resided for several years now.
The Missouri state flag was created in Cape Girardeau, making the town the natural choice for the event.
Cape Girardeau is by far the regional hub and the regional economic hub between St. Louis and Memphis. We're also very rich in history, and this is a day when we celebrate history, the commemoration of the 100th year of the Missouri state flag.
Marie Elizabeth Watkins Oliver designed and hand-sewed the flag at 740 North Street in 1913. Oliver's great-granddaughter, Penny, was a speaker at the event. Penny grew up in the home that Marie Oliver created the flag in. The site is now a historical landmark known as the Oliver Lemming House. She even had a piece of advice for any visitors to the home.
She has a lovely gazebo. So walk up the steps of the gazebo and peer over behind on the other house. You'll see a stone bench in a half moon. That is the bench that Marie Watkins Oliver essentially sat on when she was sewing the flag.
When the flag was created in 1913, Missouri had already been a state for nearly 100 years. The idea for a state flag originated in 1908 with the Daughters of the American Revolution. A committee was formed, and Marie Oliver was the head.
It was 5 years after the DAR and Marie Oliver started the effort when in 1913, 100 years ago, Missouri decided we'd have a state flag too. And the state seal became the center of that flag, and I remember a lot of times I'd take a flag like this or the flag that was at a school, and I'd be talking to fourth graders with questions like, why do you think? And the good thing about why do you think questions is there's no wrong answer to why do you think. So why do you think those 24 stars are around the seal on our flag? And of course it's because we're the 24th state. Or why do you think this one star is bigger than the other 23? And they'd pretty quickly figure out it was our flag. And we were, at the time the seal was designed, becoming a state, so why wouldn't we want to be the biggest star? We had lots of views of the potential of Missouri. This star joining the others. The helmet at the top of the flag was the prince's helmet, not the king's helmet, because in a democracy the people are the king, but this was reflective of state government that would work for the people. The crescent moon has a couple of different meanings in the state seal. One of those is that this is a growing new state that's going to be bigger and more than it is now. The other is it's the second phase of the moon, and Missouri was the second state that came out of the Louisiana Territory. So that, from the motto to let the will of the people be supreme.
On March 22, 1913, the bill was finally signed into law by Governor Elliott Major. 100 years later, on March 22nd of 2013, Judge Limbaugh read a proclamation by Missouri Governor Jay Nixon recognizing the 100th anniversary of the state flag.
Marie Elizabeth Oliver's design showed originality and, though simply designed, contained many messages. And whereas the three large stripes were symbolic of the people of the state, the blue stripe represented vigilance, permanency, and justice. The red stripe represented valor, and the white stripe symbolized purity. And whereas the Missouri coat of arms appeared at the center of the flag, signifying both Missouri's independence as a state and its place as a part of the whole United States. And whereas having the coat of arms in the center of the national colors represents Missouri as she is, the geographical center of the nation.
Even today, the Oliver family takes pride in Marie Elizabeth Watkins Oliver's contribution to the state of Missouri.
Marie Watkins Oliver was well educated, inquisitive, and extremely well organized. She raised a large and wonderful family. Her respect for decorum, service, and the family values of loyalty and truthfulness are handed down to each generation. Her unique talents and commitments to the task she took on with the Daughters of the American Revolution culminated in her design of the flag we celebrate today.